The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Hi, everyone. Basil Chapman here. That's false advertising. Sorry about that. I should have said earlier on, I did say that I'll be doing Steve's Hour because Steve is out. And I especially took time to do a live hour here because I did my show at 10 o'clock to 11, the Tiger Technicians Hour. And there were so many questions that came in, and some are coming in right now, that I thought, look, I'd like to do that. I'd like to just continue. And I know people like the live stuff because, you know, you're here and you're looking at it. So let's just do this real quickly. I'll give you a quick synopsis of what I look at. In the Chapman wave methodology, we try to identify the lowest low bar. We count each successively higher peak. Let me just put this in. From the low bar, we go to the first peak's called peak A. If it pulls back and goes underneath the starting point, it's just negated. You have to start again. But if it doesn't, the next higher by 1 penny, the next leg that goes higher than that peak starts leg B. It's called a leg until it makes a peak by having a lower high bar. And in the Chapman wave methodology, as soon as it gets upgraded from a buy signal to a buy mode, it should take you to at least a peak D. And at D, other things can happen. I know Steve talks about, he's got his labeling of the Chapman wave. Does a fabulous job, but I've found that automating it means that those really subtle little differences that are visually, I haven't found a software, the way of looking at it in software terms, that can do some of the stuff that in a split second we can do. So I still hand chart all my chart. Every single note you ever see on my chart, thousands and thousands of me typing it in. So at D, other things can happen. You get a Chapman wave instant restart. We had one of those in the 1 minute E-mini chart earlier on. But A to G is the alphabet that we use sequentially, up and down, uppercase on the way up, lowercase on the way down. And at G, if it goes higher, it's either, there's never an H. It's either an alternate count or the wave count is started over. And then within that context, I look at only 3 patterns, straight up, straight down. I shouldn't say only. I look at rectangles. I look at all sorts of things. But basically, straight line up, straight line down, cup formation, arch formation, and a combination of 1 and 2 and 1 and 3. Here's 1 and 3 called the dreaded H. If it takes out the left side low, it can go even lower. And on the right side is the Y, reverse Y, because if you take out the left side high, it can go higher. Basically, that's it. So, and right away, we've got a caller. We've got Ari in Arcadia. Hi, Ari. How are you?
I'm well, Basil.
So, Ari, this is the Ari that used to call me about GOLD, gold stock. What was it?
RGLD.
RGLD. All right. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
I have a call on Dell, and I'm in the money. I already took my profit out, and this is where I'm getting a little greedy, so I kind of want to go over it.
Yeah, so I'm sure what you did is you managed to count the Chapman wave peaks because you've always done that, and you got to the 200-period moving average back in late October at a peak D, then it pulled back sharply, and the question is, it made an E or a brand new A. What is the count? And in this particular instance, I usually go, it depends on the way the MACD and stochastic, and the 9-period moving average never turned negative. Even now, as we're talking, it hasn't turned negative. So I'm going to make the suggestion just off the top of my head as I'm looking at it.
Basil, it's Dell, D-E-L-L.
Oh, I thought D-A-L, because my engineer got it right. He wrote D-E-L, but it's D-E-L-L. So this is Dell. All right. Dell's interesting. D-E-L-L. Let me just do that. So you've had, when did you get the call position?
Close to the bottom of the left leg.
I was thinking that you probably got it somewhere down in the 34, 36 area. Okay, it's trading right now at 44. I think that so a couple of things are going on. When you decide that you need to call, it means that 35.26, 35.24, 35.17, and 35.20. Okay, I thought that's what happened because you can't make the low bar the high bar, as you know, from a low. So that there, around about October the 17th, is your starting point. A, let me just type this in: A, B, C, D, E. Oh, it's funny. It's got almost the same characteristic. F, and then the question is this a G or an alternate count G/B? So I'm going to put the alternate count G/B, but I am going to say to you, look at the way the 200 period moving average is so important. It went under it. That was on the 15th of November. It went to 43.43, pulls back. But now what happens is, since it got so close, if it goes 1 penny above that previous high, then the magnet of the 200 period moving average, which at that point was probably about 43.63, is an attractor. And it shot over it, the 200 period moving average, and then it pulled back, and then it went over it and it pulled back. That 200 period moving average is like a magnet. And you had your little doji candle, indecision candle yesterday, and today you're pulling back a little bit. So where is the expiration, December or later?
December the 16th.
So have you taken anything off yet? Do you have one or you have others?
I have 4 left, and I took all my money out of it.
Okay, so at this point you don't have anything.
Excuse me?
So wait, you have none left at this particular point?
No, I have 4 left. I took all my money out of it, so it's their money now.
Oh, I got it. Okay, great. So if that's the case, and you've got 2 weeks to go, and I think we're looking at a very bumpy 2 weeks, Dell is in an area almost on its own. It made a peak F, let's see, A, B, C, D, E. It made a peak E in the monthly chart, just over 60. It got almost cut in half. It went down to the 33 area. So now it's had a 10. This is a 30% almost gain. So if you've already taken your money and you've already got these huge profits in it, what I'm going to suggest to you is, why not give it 3 days? I think at this particular point, at this particular moment, 2 points is not going to make much of a difference to you, right? Either up or down. But it'll be great if it's on the upside, because it'll just be more of an accumulation. So I'm going to suggest, because it's only down 92 cents today in radio, or in this sector, there is some weakness in some of the tech sectors. So I'm going to suggest to you, because this is a really strong leg B to the upside, and it made a slightly higher high this week, so that's 39.33. Okay, so this is, I like this. And you're going into the holiday season, which says to me that maybe there will be selling, buyers for the computers, its presses, etc. I'm inclined to say, okay, here we are. You've got a big profit in it. I would do this. I'd make, for 2 of them, I'd have a stop of 43.12. But if it goes higher and you're still in the 4, you know what, hold on. When we get back, I'll cover it in a little bit more detail. I'll be back with Ari, and we're looking at Dell Computer. Dow's down 182.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Cakestat's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Cakestat breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Hi, folks. We're back. Basil Chapman sitting in for Steve Rhodes. This is Steve Rhodes' Hour, not the Steve's show, because he does completely different stuff. Very, very excellent work, and I'm just sitting in for the hour to make it live. We've got Ari on the phone. He's looking at Dell Computer options that he bought way down when it was making its lows back in October, and he's got out of most of them. He's got 4 left. What should he do? So my 120-minute chart says that there's a really good chance that it's going to come back to the 43, even touch the 50-period moving average of 43.10, maybe to the 42.90 area. But you've got 2 weeks to go. So you've taken off and you're satisfied with the amount of money you've made so far. This is just be a bonus if you hold it and it actually goes higher. So out of the 4 that you've got, I'm going to make the suggestion that I don't know whether it's worth even talking about it, but I'd probably say take off 1 right now, and with the other 3, just keep them as an experiment in your choice of stock that's done so well and screamed to a leg B in the weekly chart in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In 8 weeks, it's only just a minuscule peak A of about 2 or 3 cents lower than the previous high. So it's really showing tremendous strength, and we're going into the season where maybe as gifts, Dell Computer gets bought. I don't know. I'm just saying I would try to keep it as an experiment to see that you did your analysis. Your option call was all the way to mid-December. Let's see if it's able to do that. But I would not give away too much. So I would say maybe take 1 off now, take another 1 off out of the 4 if it goes to 42.90 on the price. That's not the option. I'm talking about the price itself. And then try to keep the other 2 and just say, you know what, let's just see what happens, because you might learn something from that patience and endurance and correct analysis can really benefit you. My eye says that by the 3rd week of December, if it's able to get to 45.80, between 45.80 and 46.30, that the high of, I don't think you can go all the way to the high of the week of the 19th of August of 49.24, but that's where it has the greatest opportunity to get to that level. But that's the way I would do it. I hope that helps you.
I appreciate it.
And it's good to hear from you, and season's greetings. I hope you have a good December, but I'd love to hear eventually what you did and how it worked out. Thank you for calling, Ari.
Thank you.
So, folks, thank you. So let me just once again do this. I started it before. Let me just check my notes here. First, Len wanted to know about Len. I thought that was a little kind of cute. Len is... and it didn't say whether or not he still has. Gee, I wonder if this is Len from Cape Coral. We followed him as he had all these incredible homes, and he used to work on them himself, him and his son. He'd get on the roof and he'd do the roofing, etc. And then he bought them before the recession, bought them way back. Then during the recession of 2008 and 9, for the first time, he started selling. And then when I saw him, he said, "Oh, I'm rebuying the houses I sold almost at the prices that I bought them for initially." Well, I don't know if it's the same land. Anyway, it just reminded me of Len in Cape Coral. That's in Florida. B. Yeah, so Len, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that with the interest rates, everything that's going on, the 120 has gone A, B, C, D, and then a big spike to E, and now it's pulling back, but it is holding very nicely. I would say Lennar Corporation in the housing sector has done way better than I would have anticipated after all the bad news about housing, about interest rates, blah, blah, blah. And here it is at a new recovery high. So I like it. If you're long, I'm just going to suggest I'd be a little cautious if it's a full position, but I think you're right, and I like it. And the 200-period moving average of 82.80, that's going to be key support because there's an island reversal from that, and it went back and just squeaked to a new high 2 days ago, just above 90. Now it's at 87. I like it. You know what? I'm going to put down Wednesday of next week. Look at Lennar, because I don't see anything wrong with it right now, but I need to see how it survives the next 3 full sessions. So 2 full sessions, 2.25. So I look at it on Wednesday, but nothing. It's in leg C in the weekly chart. I'm impressed. I don't think that this is going back to the highs, but I'm impressed that it's holding so well. I don't think it's going to the highs in this particular phase. I think in 2023, maybe February, we'll have a look at it. And if it's holding in the 98 area rather than the 68 area, that's going to be really impressive. But that's looking out. Okay. Next question came in. Did that. Did I do fuel cell? Yes, I think I did. Fuel cell? Yes, I did. I did fuel cells. Putting it back a little bit from where we were talking, but it's still acting quite well. BWXT. I don't know. This is BWXT, BWX Technologies. I don't know where they are in the technological field, but look at this. And this reminds me of IBM. I don't know what they do. If the questioner could put in what they do, I'd be very, very pleased. I'm looking. Okay. This is gone. I'll have to take it from the beginning. So when I do the Chapman wave notation, I go back to the low. I don't want to miss a single thing. Sometimes you start off and the next thing you know, you go back a little bit further and you say, oh no, I just missed the low and I've got all the wave counts and everything. I'm wrong because I do it all by hand. So I'm looking at this peak B on the 4th of October at 53.59 and the next high is 53. Yep, 64. I thought that was a C. I just needed to check it. So that's just, look how quickly you do these things. C. D. Potential for a Chapman wave instant restart, but instead it goes E. And then it spikes up with news. Must have been earnings news or something. And it powers up from the lowers in the 48s or 49 area. It pops up to the 60, almost 63, and then pulls back. This is always a very big, this is a difficulty for me. Is this a down arrow when the 9 period is still so strong above the 14? That's what I'm talking about, the Dow. And it's still, look how, if you go to the Dow, you'll see the 9 is still way above the 14. So I don't have any signals yet. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to call that a top. I'm going to call this a new peak, a trough that starts a buy mode. This is an A, this is a B, and this is a C. And what I always do is I grab the outer rims, the high and the low, and if it starts to make higher highs and higher lows, it makes a lopsided cup formation that should take you to just under or just above the previous major high of the flagpole. And then if it pulls back halfway into the rectangle, be careful because it can go all the way to the bottom. I like this as a 61.59, but I have to say that I don't know what's going to happen if it closes under 62.84. Oh, with the round number 62 open, what a clue that this is going to pull back. Yeah, PWX, during the break, I'll check and see what they do. Woohoo, Dow's now down only 153, S&P's down 27. I'll be back in a moment. Basil Chapman sitting in for Steve Rhodes.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Yes, we're looking at Basil Chapman here for Steve Rhodes Hour, that is. We're looking at BWX, which is BWX Technologies, manufactures nuclear components, precision naval and critical nuclear components, reactors, nuclear fuel assemblies for the United States Department of Energy, National Nuclear. Wow. So this is telling us something because, look, this looks like a little bit like the IBM chart, which goes sideways, 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 and now it's going sideways to the upside in this big rectangle formation. It's been in a trading band between 70 and 36 since 2018. Up and down and up and down and up and down. Now it's on its way up. The last one failed at a peak C and pulled back. The first one fails at a peak C and pull back. This is A, B, this is in C. But the technicals are actually running quite nicely in the monthly chart I'm talking about. The weekly chart says this is a brand new buy. So this is an A. Oh, I can't do that. This is either E/ and I'll tell you why I do this. It's just so that you're ahead of the game. There's nothing wrong in saying it's a continuation of the previous peak D that pulled back for half a year now, or less than half a year. Now it's in a new leg E, and it pulls back because if it goes 1 penny above the high that was made right here on the week of the 11th of November of 62.84, that becomes F/B, but nothing's wrong because the stochastic's at 80%. That's great. What is missing is the on-balance volume is very weak, but the 9 is over the 14, price is way above the 9 in the weekly. Everything about this looks good. I'll tell you what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at the chance by midweek next week, if there is a further rally, and so far it's up 36 cents up at 61 on a day where the market generally is weak, more or less across the board. So the high that was made is 62.84 on the 11th. That to me looks like a target, and it's only in C, so you could still have a little bit of a pullback. My thinking is it's going to go towards that level. That's where you get a test, because if you look at the MACD is okay, not anywhere as strong as it was on that 11th of November high. The stochastic is way lower. On-balance volume in the daily is a little bit overbought, but the 9 is still acting so beautifully as a springboard for the price. So I don't want to get in the way. I'm just saying, I don't know if you're in it, but this is acting very well. I would suggest that you could start a position here, knowing that you've only got about 1.5 points, 2 points before it starts to get a little toppy. If it breaks out significantly, that weekly chart starts to be the drag to the upside and drag the daily chart to the upside. You don't want the daily chart to fail here and weaken the weekly chart. But the weekly chart, I'm drawing this in now. We'll see what happens. We'll look at it maybe next Thursday or something like that. But here's your rectangle. I think it's stuck in this rectangle for a little bit. If it breaks out, that's very important. And it's also telling us if it's part of the nuclear reactor sector, well, that's an important factor. We'll see how that plays out. But yes, I do like it, if that was the question. And where would you get in? If you're not in already, it's a little tough now because I see that in the consolidation phase, if it does that, you're in at 61. It could pull back to the 58 level, which is really critical support. That's 3 points. That's about 5%. So I wouldn't get this as a big position. If you were interested in it and you liked it looking out, because looking out, it does look very good, then start your engines. Right here, 61.65. The initial one, I would definitely decide to have a 5% stop just as a starter position. The higher it goes, the tighter the stop, and maybe you won't get into the second position until it has a much bigger consolidation. Dow's down 147. Next question came in. There wasn't a question, it was a statement about Costco at the low of the day. So Costco made a peak F 3 days ago. In the Chapman methodology, our objective is to get to at least a D, and then other things can happen. Well, this went higher, and then it suddenly pulled back, and for the first time now, it hasn't done it, but I suspect in a day or two, that green 9-period moving average will close under the 14 and say, sell signal. It might even be an instant sell signal to sell mode. And look, this peak has gone right back into the Chapman wave inside track propellant zone, which it was a repellent, then it became a propellant for 2 weeks. Now it's gone back under. So this whole area of it's at 494 right now, down 9. This whole area, the 200-period moving average is at 503, and it's under that now. So this is going to be a containment area between 510 and 490, at least for just a little bit on Costco. Its monthly chart was a high of 612 in April, a low of 406 the next month, and then it comes right back. And it's saying that it's in this. It's like a. I don't know what it would actually be called. I remember as a kid, I would take the knife when we were at the dining room table, and I'd put the blade on the tablecloth. I'd put the blade, and then the handle. I'd go doing, and you'd spring it like that. The sproing, like you get in the cartoons. You go sproing, and that's what you got here. That this whole V-shaped pattern is a sproing either to the upside or it gets dragged down. My thinking is that Costco is going to go sideways for now, and I'd have a target of about 473. It's a 494 over the next month. That's just the way I'm looking at it right now. It's been fabulous. Now it's taking a digestive phase. I don't know if it was a question or a statement about ARWR, Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals, trading at 32.67, up 64 cents there, 32.66. So the weekly chart has this potential to consider that this area here has been a double bottom. And I'll just draw this in. Okay, and it's done it almost to the week. It's about 2 weeks late, but it hasn't taken out the left side low as the technicals are actually improving a little bit. Oops, we've got a caller. Let me get to our caller. We've got Earl in Seminole. Hi, Earl. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And I'd like to have you take a look at a gold company called Sand.
Yeah,
S-A-N-D.
I've followed Sand for years. I don't know why I don't have all the notations on it. I don't at this particular time. And first of all, before I look at Sand, I want to say back to you, best season's greetings and a healthy new year to all of us here at TFNN. Well, everybody, actually. Not just at
thank
TFNN.
you. Thank you.
So do you have a position in this?
Yes, I do. And it took a nice jump yesterday, and it's pulling back a little today. But I'd like to get your take on an upside target. What's it headed for?
So it's already gone to the upside target that I would automatically have had if I was doing this analysis, say, a week or so ago. And that was the high of, I love when a gap is filled and then the price holds above the gap after it's filled it. This one couldn't do it. So the high that was made on the 4th of October at $5.54, and it plunged down to the 450 area. It's gone peak ABC, big pullback. It didn't take out the left side low, so you keep the notation going. It goes to a quick D and E, and then it pulls back. But it pulls back and has a sudden spike, and then comes back again to retest the low. So the move that occurred yesterday could almost be, it's a pattern that I've followed for years. This is just a little unusual in the steepness of the move of 4 days ago. If it wasn't quite so steep, I would have said, oh man, I'm absolutely sure this is a brand new B, but I have to check now. So the low of the 21st was 494 and the low was 495. Yeah, that's what I thought. So this could be A, B. Oh, this is a very interesting one, and I'll talk about it as soon as we return. Folks, this is Earl in Seminole looking at Sand. Sand is Sandstorm Gold Limited, trading at $5.40, down 7 cents. And Basil Chapman sitting in for the hour that Steve Rhodes always does his show. I'll be back. Dow's down 111. Nice.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Hi folks, we're back. We're on with Earl and Seminole. We're looking at SAND, S-A-N-D, trading at 5.41, down 6 cents. So, Earl, I like the way it's making these cup formations. Remember, I was showing the charts in the Chapman methodology. I look at 3 patterns: straight line up, straight line down. That's on the left side. Then an inverted pattern where it fails at a peak A or B, makes the dreaded H. This is where the A failed right there back in October. And then it makes an arch formation, but doesn't take out the left side low, makes another one with a rising low. And now we've done it 4 times actually. And I think this is the one that looks good. So this tells me that the dollar weakness, where did I type that? Did I type it's in the wrong place? Yeah. So the dollar weakness is favoring these gold stocks. And therefore, within the context of trading the counterpoint of dollar weakness is helping the gold area. And I don't know where the gold, this is the start of a much bigger move. If you look at SAND in the monthly chart, this has been the weakest rally that it's had in a long time, because each one went like from the 570 area back into the 8s or even touching 9. This one maybe is just starting, but the weekly chart is one of the weaker patterns that I've seen. So this is an important moment, but looking out, are you looking short-term trade or just something that you can buy and hold perhaps?
I'm looking to, if this is the start in the move of gold, I'm looking to hold it for a while.
Okay, so I like the action right now. So at 541, it looks to me like it's going to, this is a Chapman inverted Roman candle, the candle from yesterday, and it says that if at any point within the next 2 sessions, 3 altogether, but I like if it's the second bar, first bar or the second bar, if it goes halfway into the wick, and this is on the upside, I usually look at them on the downside, if it can get to 554 in the next, or let's just say by Tuesday afternoon, there's a really good chance it's not only going to go for the 560 high, was that 558? 559, the 559 of yesterday, but take it out. So I like it. The only thing I would say is percentage-wise, the support is at 492, 495. That's 10-11%. So if that's not the issue for you, the way it's acting right now, I like it, and I think it's going higher. The big issue is going to be, this gap that was made way back here, because it does trade overnight, so you can always get gaps. Well, this is a pretty big gap from the 26th of September with a 526 low, and the previous day, the next day was the high of 514. So if it can start to trade in the 580 to 593 area, 578 to 583 area, there's a really good chance it's going to try to get to the 200-period moving average in, I would say it has to be within the next week or two. So follow it closely. If all of a sudden you see it trading the 550s by Monday, that's really good action. So I do like it. It needs a lot of work to improve the weekly and daily, weekly and monthly, but it can only happen if the daily really gets strong. And as soon as sand at some point starts to trade in the 6.20s, it's a different kettle of fish. But yeah, it's acting nicely right now.
Thank you, Basil.
Thank you for calling. Always appreciate it. And have a great week. Speak to you soon, hopefully. Thank you. So, folks,
have a wonderful holiday.
Yeah, you too. Just a great holiday. Don't forget the Tiger dollar sale, everybody. So what we're looking at here is look at this beautiful pattern. And what I'd said earlier is that I'm wondering if, and I was so upset, I was all ready to do it, and I got a phone call, and I never did it. I wanted to grab the E-mini towards the low of the day and say, is this going to be a nice demonstration of the 2-click session? And that would have been that you're in at the 408 area with maybe a 2-point stop, and you just try to have the patience to let it ride, and it goes, and even now you could get out. Here it is at 4067. But my idea was that if there is a turnaround here, could this be a great demonstration of what I'm hoping to have some kind of a show, at least a webinar of sorts, where I can demonstrate these things that can you, I mean, throughout the year, we've had, I might be wrong on the low side, but I would say at least 30 to 40 sessions this year where either you could have picked the high at 1 click and then said, I'm putting my stop in, I'm out, I'm done. At 3:30, I'll come back and see where it is. And just that was the trend. And based on what? Based on, in this case, the 10-minute chart, and that was the only thing, the decline was so steep that I thought this is going to be a real test of that capacity. But look at the 10-minute chart. Only 3 bars ago did it change to green. So it's gone all the way from the 4,006 low in the E-mini to 4,067 above the peak. You remember the Chapman objective is to get you from a buy signal, upgrade to a buy mode to at least a peak D. You got to the D, but it was under the 200-period moving average. You got to get a little closer. Then all of a sudden it becomes a magnet. Bam! And then it becomes a sticking point because that magnet says you can go higher, but you're probably going to come back and whip around this 200-period moving average first. So that's what I'm looking at. Look at the 1-minute chart. Makes a doji candle peak G/C. Oh, I missed something. Mistake. There it is. E. I knew there was something wrong. That's why I put the alternate count. It went to a peak D. There's your D. This is the second D. The other one was a 1050. The other one was a D, then a quick E. Look at those peaks. Doji candle. I don't know how long it'll last. Now, what we're looking at is, okay, so I got a couple of questions coming in. Could I look at, I was going to do ITA, I believe it was, from yesterday. Rachel, was that Rochelle? Rochelle asked me about it, and I don't know if I got to it or I don't remember what happened. But basically, I do, this is what I normally do is with an H. PPA. PPA is what I normally look at. There's all the years I've been doing this. PPA is my favorite Invesco Aerospace and Defense portfolio. Made a peak C back in January, February, March of 2022. Pulls back sharply to 64, and now it's almost at a recovery. Wait, is this an all-time high? No, it's not yet at an all-time high, but it's within a point or so. And it's in leg B. It's now in leg C. This is the defense. Oh, what are we looking at here? We just had the question about BWXT, and that was nuclear. And now we're looking at the Invesco Aerospace and Defense portfolio, just breaking out of this cup formation that I had drawn in. But the ITA was the question, so obviously Michelle looks at ITA. Oh, it's even a better move. They look pretty much the same. So I like this very much. This is ITA. This is the iShares. U.S. Aerospace and Defense ETF, made a peak D back in March, April, pulls back sharply. That was at 112-ish, pulls back to about 1991, and then bounces up, makes this V-shaped pattern. Look at this in the weekly chart. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this B in, and I think we've got a break coming up right now. In the break, I'm going to draw my left side, right side price time match for the ITA. I'll be right back. Basil Chapman sitting in for Steve Rhodes. I'll be right back. Ciao, ciao.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, folks, we're back. Basil Chapman sitting for Steve Rhodes. I believe Steve will be back on Monday. Just take a few days off. And, I didn't even do that because I was so busy with my intraday charting of the E-mini, which I do all day, every day if I'm here, besides all the other stuff I do. So let me just do this. There we go. So this says that it already looks lopsided, but this is normally what I would do. It says that by the end of December, the high of 113.67 in the ITA ETF, aerospace ETF, should be tested. Well, today's high is 113.69. 113.69, so it's done it in by 2 cents. It's already taken it out. It's a leg B. This is good. So what is the market saying about the aerospace and defense area? Such an increase. I'm sorry. I did this a little quickly. I should have taken it to first. I go to the first one, which would have been this one right here. Sorry, I should have done that. That's where I would have taken it to, and that would have been to this high right here. and maybe it's a little short. I don't know what it is, but that's normally what I do. I was just doing it a little quickly. And let's just do that before. So don't forget, we've got this huge sale going on, up to 40%. And I believe that TFNN has said that you will get a cup like this one here. Well, it won't be the same as this because I think it's designed. This, I've still got my cup. Look at that. This is my cup from 2008 or 9. I don't remember what it was. So I've still got my name. This one has my name on it, Tiger Financial News Network. So this is what I'd be looking at. So it's already achieved its goal, but it's only a leg C in the weekly chart. And that says it should go to a D, a C and a D. So it's looking very good. So that was the answer to that. The other thing is, don't forget my newsletter, the opening call. Yes, we did get out of, Ted says, what happened to the UNG? We took a real nice profit, and then we took a little bit more of a profit as it came down, took us out. We're out of UNG. It's made a peak D. Remember, the objective was D, and that's the way it is. So check out my opening call, my daily newsletter. We got a position yesterday, started position, split, and so far it's acting very nicely. That's a good sign. Have a wonderful weekend, and stay tuned for great programming for the rest of the day.